Welcome back, everybody. Got a great video for you today. It's time to start reconstructing this bedroom. If this is your first time watching this video series, I am rebuilding a basement bedroom. This bedroom has been here for a very long time. A lot of history. This house has been around for almost 100 years. And this basement has been finished for a very long time. As I was deconstructing it, I was trying to figure out the age of this bedroom. We found some drywall from 1979 in the closet over there. Obviously, this wall here is very old. Old school lath and plaster on that side. This side had a combination of some boards, some tongue and groove boards, paneling looking stuff. Previous video, I installed one of two windows. This one here is just a construction window. So I can bring things in and out of the window. It's a maze to get material into this room. I do not want to be dragging a whole bunch of 2x4s through the house. I will have to strategically bring drywall through the maze down into this room when it comes time to drywall. Very unique construction and placement of posts and beams in this basement. It's going to go right here. There's no change in this. We can't take this down. Well, could it be possible? It still would be a large span to replace this beam and cut out a beam pocket in the foundation wall. I'm going to be pulling my electricity in from the outside. I've got my new power bank, contractor grade power supply out there. There is one outlet in this entire basement, and it has a 6-way expansion plugged into it. There's all sorts of stuff already plugged into it. So running an extension cord all the way up the stairs in through to the kitchen is just a pain in the butt. Those are right out the window, and I've got my power strip right here. Let's give you an idea of the size of this room. I'm gonna give you a little pan around here. These are all my lights. The more lights you have, the better the video quality. So back in there is where the closet's gonna go. Door comes in here. So these are 10-foot 2x4s. This wall here is just about 10 feet. That wall there is about 16 feet. I'm going to be making that wall in two 8-foot sections. So everything's being run off the Titan 5. More details to come. So I know a lot of guys are going to be upset that I'm not using a contractor grade miter saw, and I've got several of them, but I picked this one up a couple years ago for like 98 bucks at Lowe's, as it was small, it was compact, easily carry it with one hand, and most of the work I do is small trim jobs, little baseboard, a little bit of door casing, just toss this in and I don't have to worry about bringing out the boat anchor. It's a compound sliding miter saw. What is this, a tiny 7.5-inch blade or something? Watch how easy it goes through a 2x4. This isn't even an aggressive blade. Look at the tooth count on that. Before we get too far into the video, I have to address a very common question whenever I'm working on a basement, and that has to do with radon. Am I concerned with radon?
Do you have radon where you live?
Most of us have radon where we live. And if you don't know what radon is, it's a radioactive gas that comes up through the soil into your basement, and it can get into your lungs and cause lung cancer. The CDC, the WHO, and the EPA all have warnings relating to radon exposure. I highly suggest you test your basement if you live down there. If you've got a movie theater, a gaming room, or a bedroom that someone might be living in and breathing air from the basement all the time. This is the Arnett radon sensor. I'm gonna reset it. We're gonna put it in this room just outside the door there, and we'll check back and see what the radon level is in this room towards the end of the video. It'll tell you if you're in the danger zone or if you're in the safe zone. I'll put a link in the description for this sensor. There's a code, Handyman 5, that'll give you 5% off.
This mask is the ultimate defense. Protects your eyes, protects your lungs. You just sit there in front of those sparks and don't worry about anything. Put a link in the description where you can get one.
I haven't thought about how to get back in. So another reason to maintain 16 inches on center is you're going to get either 16-inch bats or 24-inch bats. I'm referring to the rolls of insulation you'll be stapling to the studs. So you can see my situation. This is gonna hit this. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna nail this in and hope that I can pull it out, raise it up, clear this, straighten it out, and then stand it up. If not, I'm just gonna cut this little bit off to clear the post. Beautiful. Should be it for that. Having flashbacks many years ago. I was framing a basement and I was framing right around PEX, and somehow I said, don't shoot the PEX or don't shoot the pipe. The next thing I did is I shot the pipe. That was my first introduction to shark bites. Because I had to go down to Home Depot and get a shark bite. Never knew they even existed. So that was 16 years ago. Come a long way since then. Just finishing up the electrical portion of this project. It's a full-length video on Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. I'll also put it in the first pinned comment. This is one of the most asked questions I get whenever I bring out a tool that goes bang.
What is that thing?
You say. Industry term is a ram set. This one happens to be made by Tapcon. So they shoot out these things called pins or fasteners. They're not nails. Don't call them nails, especially on social media. These are, what are these, 2.5 inches? Meant for attaching 2x4s to concrete. You can also use it to attach a 2x4 to a steel I-beam. Now you're gonna have different charges. I picked up the highest power level. As concrete gets older, it gets harder and stronger. I went with the big guns. Got my eye protection on. I know there's a lot of safety Sallies out there that are worried about my eyes. There's just gunpowder in there, no projectile. So the floor goes up and down. I've got the wall shimmed in place. It's nailed up top. You just feed the pin in the bottom. It's got a little plastic aligner. Lines things up, open it up. You drop the charge in and close it. Make sure the wall is level. Yeah, make sure the wall's plumb. Push in. Say fire in the hole. Boom. Push it in. Pull the trigger. The Aeronet radon sensor has detected 1.16 PCIs per liter. We are still in the safe zone though. We'll check it again in a day or two and see if it's changed. Gonna have an outlet installed right about here to power the sprinkler. I'm gonna get a nice little access panel door there, as well as one down at the bottom. I still haven't put that shut off and drain in. Probably do that maybe tomorrow. But I gotta do that before I bring any drywall or anything like that. And I should probably do it before the electrician comes. The electrician comes today. That video is already done. It's up on Patreon. New electrical going in for the upstairs bedroom as well as this bedroom. It'll be all roughed in as well as juiced up, at least to this room. Gonna have some lights up in here. All the plugs will be powered so I don't have to have extension cords running all over or be using a giant battery outside the window. Go check that out. Link in the description for Patreon. If you got questions, please put them down below in the comments. I'll be sure to look at them. Trying to get ahead of things. What's the confusion? What's the mass confusion gonna be? Just don't know. Don't know. This framing, there's nothing structural here. This is just wood put in place to screw drywall to and hold insulation up. That's it. Could be put in diagonally. Could be put in horizontal. Could have framed it horizontal. As long as the walls are plumb and straight and you crown your studs, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't overcomplicate things. A lot of guys out there on the YouTube and social media like to make this stuff out to be rocket science. There are some things out there that take a lot of skill set and experience, but this is not one of them. Just basic common sense, break it down into small baby steps, and it's real easy to do. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Here's a little bonus footage. The Tapcons I put in were too short. The deck screws that I put in were too long. So I've got longer tap cons and shorter deck screws. Let's see if we can get this to work. I put in 3-inch deck screws. I don't think these embedded pieces of wood in this foundation wall here is deep enough. I think I bottomed out. And if you don't know, tap cons suck. They don't ever really work, even if you follow the rules and use the exact size drill bit. Okay, that time it worked. That worked pretty good. But a lot of times you have these rip outs or blowouts with tap cons. Probably shouldn't use the impact, but it's what I got with me. I'm not swapping the bit over to my drill. So now I'm pulling out these big 3-inchers. Putting in these, maybe 2-inchers. We should be fine. There we go. I also have glue behind there too. Now I gotta put this thing up.